There are quite a few compliments due to the UNC football program, who beat Wake Forest over the weekend, by the way, 31-24, to become bowl eligible. There's quite a few compliments due to the UNC football program, but I'm starting with the guy who's running the UNC football program, Mack Brown. Mack Brown may not be the guy for the future of UNC football. There's obviously some age, how long does he want to keep doing it questions, but I don't think there's a doubt that he still has part of or all of what made him one of the best coaches of a generation. He knows how to rally the troops. He can unite a group. He can get them through a season bought in and on the same page regardless of what happens. And that there's maybe nothing more a coach should take pride in. Mack Brown, after beating Wake Forest to gain that bowl eligibility that we were talking about, spoke to the media. This is what he had to say about the win.
For this team to have been in such a hole, very few teams, in my estimation, could have come out of this. And that means they've got great character. I'm so proud of the coaches that they've hung in there because they were in a hole and everything was negative. And then you lose a 23-year-old that's crushing. It doesn't happen very often in your life, and you never want it to happen. You can take two different paths. You can go down and just quit, and you got plenty of excuses. And they didn't do that. They kept their head up. They kept fighting. They kept competing. And I think that's why they're so proud tonight.
And also, this is why part of why Mack Brown is what I am giving him credit for. Mack Brown deserves a lot of that credit. Now, a good coach, a good leader, is going to attract blame in bad times and deflect credit in good. So he's not going to ever say, hey, also, I did a really good job there. But he should, and we should. He's not messing around when he talks about how low they fell at points in time this season. They lost 4 straight games, just talking about the football, in the ugliest fashion possible. Gave up 70 in a loss to James Madison. A group of 5 team went into your stadium and beat you by a bunch, scoring 70. Next week, gave up a 20-point lead to crosstown rival Duke to lose by the whiskers on your chinny chin. Then you lost a heartbreaker at home to Pitt. Again, a game that was tied late and you end up losing by double figures. And then you get pushed around and lose at home to Georgia Tech. And mixed in, you heard Coach Brown allude to it, Tylee Kraft, one of their wide receivers, passes away the same day, October 12th, according to the News and Observer, the same day that Georgia Tech game took place. That is unimaginable difficulty for that team. 3 straight wins and bowl eligibility followed. After that unimaginable low, 3 straight wins and bowl eligibility followed. You won 3 games, you lost 4 straight with everything I just talked about. And in a world where you lose 4 straight in college football right now, it is nearly impossible not to have players looking towards the next year, looking towards the transfer portal, looking towards how much money they're going to make, looking towards anything else, yet they stuck together, right? Already an ACC championship out the window. Any hope of a college football playoff out the window. You're just playing for bowl eligibility at a point when bowls are being downgraded and devalued every single year. That's not great. That's unbelievable coaching.
So my whole thing is this. I think this might be one of Mack Brown's best coaching seasons that he's had since he's returned to Chapel Hill.
As far as, obviously he's had more successful teams.
Right.
More impressive talent, specifically at the quarterback position, Sam Howell straight into Drake May. But from a leader of men, the coaching, getting the whole locker room to row the boat in the same direction, the last 3 games have been mighty impressive.
And that's the whole bit. I mean, Mack Brown's the kind of coach where he's not going to go in there, rah, fire you guys up, but he cares more about developing young men into stand-up guys. And I think we're seeing that right now with how they've been able to take everything they went through, all the adversity, and as he said it, weather the dark clouds to find the rainbows in this season. They're getting ready to go bowl. They're going to another bowl game this year.
I don't even want to sell him short on the rah-rah because the last 3 games, they've come out firing straight out the gate. Right? These aren't games where, at halftime, it's in doubt. They're ahead by a bunch going into the final frame. I don't want to sell him short as far as a pregame speech giver. Just because you're not Dan Campbell talking about taking hunks out of kneecaps and everything else, like, give Mack his credit. I understand in ways the fan base is going to say, and I agree with them in a lot of ways, that the game is different now and may have passed him by in some ways, as every industry does to somebody that's been in the trenches for 50 years. But there's something to be said for the guys don't quit when he's the coach. There is something to be said for all of your goals can slip through your fingers in the next week. They're still running and tackling and putting their body on the line with the same energy and enthusiasm that you would if you were in an elimination game. It's actually part of coaching that I think is getting overlooked, because nowadays it's so much, and I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just the way it's gone. So much of head coaching is, how innovative of a mind are you? Can you get a modern offense? Can you coach? And there's less of, can you get everybody on the same page, pulling as hard as they possibly can? Right? There's more of the Lincoln Riley, Cliff Kingsbury, more of like the, what can you bring to me as far as RPOs when you're getting hired as a head coach? And I think that at times UNC lacks that. So I'm not saying it's 100% perfect. But I'm saying Mack Brown had that team ready to come out of both bye weeks like their hair's on fire, despite facing a really, really, really low at some point in this season, right after that 4-game losing streak, both on the field and off. Give Mack Brown his credit. Give Mack Brown his due. Now the question becomes about the future, and is there differences to make on the coaching staff if he's still around? What's his future? There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.